Today we'll be finishing the second season of Fabio Grosso's managerial career. Of course, we're in charge of Braga, and as the 2006 World Cup winner, we want to try and win the next World Cup in 2026. But the first things first, we need to play this game against Juventus. We were at home. You can see the streets of Braga were absolutely alive with the passion and desire to get far in the Europa League. It's a competition we've done quite well in the past, so it was a good opportunity for us to progress again. But of course, Juventus, Fabio Grosso knows all about the Italian team. Being Italian himself, they're one of the best teams in the world. It was going to be a very tough challenge. Things got off to an okay start though. The first couple of seconds in the game, Herrera nearly got through, but the goalkeeper got there first. McAllister would get the ball out wide. He played it up to Horta. Horta would cut inside. Can he see the run? He can. Silas is through. His shot going towards the far corner. Well saved by Szczesny. Banzo would see Silas's run yet again, but he would see Telles Magno. Telles Magno would hit it under Szczesny, and I think that's a nice goal through his legs. 1-0 to Braga. So the home team were doing pretty well. Juventus had some weird tactics like Vlahovic taking the deep free kicks rather than being on the end of them, but it did nearly work, with someone nearly scoring for Juventus. Bonucci announced he was hanging up his boots before this game, so there was a bit more desire and passion in the Juventus team to try and get him one last tournament win. Vlahovic couldn't chip our goalkeeper right there, but then the next chance would actually come to Andre Horta. We got the ball 40 yards out, we smashed one, and it somehow went in. I think that's probably goal of the season for us. From so far out, with a player that we really love using, Horta is an underrated player, and I definitely recommend you check him out on your FIFA career modes. But look at the technique right there. The ball's on the floor, it's not bouncing up or anything, so he gets all the power. I mean, looking back at that, the goalkeeper probably could have done better. He didn't really move despite it coming from so far away, but still a really good goal that I'm very pleased with. Next chances would come to Braga as well. Herrera with a nice spin. Banzo would be basically one-on-one, but the shot would be deflected. The referee did this, and I thought, oh, is it a penalty? But no, it was a free kick, a foul on the defender. You can see how good this Juventus squad just by looking at some of the players. They've got Kostic on the ball right now. Artur, Kostic again, Artur again. Vlahovic, one of the best strikers. Zakaria, McKennie, what a World Cup he had. But it's only saved by our goalkeeper, so he's keeping us in at 2-0. If we can take this score to Italy, we're going to be set quite fair. But Chiesa had other ideas. He played it into Vlahovic, and that's the kind of powerful shot that he's known for. He wanted to try and get a second one, but with an away goal, Juventus were definitely back in this game. We were defending hard. McAllister doing tackles like that. Silas chipping it through. Banza, can he get into the box and get the shot off? The volley goes wide just this time. And that's how the game would end at 2-1. Before we could play the second leg though, we had a Liga Portugal game against Famalicão. We got off to a really good start. We got a penalty after 10 minutes. We're going to keep this super short so we can get straight back to the Europa League. We had another corner right here. Silas got it back into the mixer, and Musrati with the diving header. You don't see too many of those these days, and that's how the game would end. 2-0 to Braga. Good win in the league, but all our focus, we rested a lot of our players. We had players like Borja on the pitch. All our focus was on that Juventus game, where we would be heading to the Allianz Arena right now. So to prove it was worth resting those players, we had to get off to a really good start. Dusan Vlahovic right there, you can see his form, 4 goals in the last 3, so he got one of those against me, so maybe he's got a hat-trick. He's coming into this loving the goals. We're of course playing at the Allianz Arena. We're not so good on our away matches compared to our home games, but when we intercepted that pass, I thought we were on for an easy early goal. However, playing Artur Vlahovic again, we were having to defend on the top of our game. Chiesa getting a long shot off, well saved by our goalkeeper. Horta scored that really good goal in the first game, of course. He played out to Silas. Silas with the 5-star skills gets around his man. Can he pull it back to someone in the middle? He actually does. He plays it to Banza, but his shot can't quite find the target. He was facing the wrong direction, but it was still a really good chance nonetheless. Herrera tries to chip the ball up and then wins the rebound header. Silas, can he play it to Telles Magno, or will he go himself? He takes the shot on, but it's such a good save to keep that out of the goal by Szczesny, and that's why he is so highly rated on FIFA. But we would get a corner. We scored in our last game from one, but unfortunately this one didn't really result in anything. Paulo Oliveira did one of the most moon shots of all time. He couldn't quite replicate that Horta one in the first game, but it was time for Juventus to have a corner of their own. This time Vlahovic is in the box rather than taking the set piece, but Di Maria's corner can't quite find Chiesa. He would turn quite a lot though, and Miretti would burst through, got a one-on-one, and he possibly should have scored. But we were still in the lead at half-time. 2-1, we knew if we kept it like this, 0-0, we were going through to the quarter-finals or the semi-finals of the Europa League, which is quite a big deal for the team of Braga's size. But we were now having to have players like Fabio Silva come on because the rest of our team was so tired. He was in a foot race against John Stones. They have a very English backline. If Fabio Silva could have just found the top corner right there, you would say we were probably set fair to go through to the next round. But as it stood, just one goal from either team would change everything. Maserati would find Silva through one-on-one yet again, but he tried to chip Szczesny this time. Nothing came off. Horta then got a rebound. It was an open goal, and he couldn't quite do anything. But Kostic, with 86 minutes gone, fired one so hard at our goalkeeper he could only palm it into the post and into the back of the net. So with 5 minutes left, this was going to go to extra time if it stayed like this. We were both going to try and win the game in normal time. We didn't have too many of our better players on now because we had so many tired ones. But Juventus nearly won it just 1 minute later. Vlahovic's long shot hitting the crossbar. Because of stamina issues, we now had Murillo and Chavez playing on the wings, 2 67 rated youth players. We don't have that same depth that Juventus have. Players like Raspadori coming on. Vlahovic again with a really good chance, but what a good save that was from our goalkeeper. It was actually Murillo that would cause this mistake right here that would see Kostic get through. Kostic would just play it straight across and Raspadori was there, an open net. He was never going to miss, but it was a mistake from the young man. Hopefully he can recover from that before the end of the match. We would have one last chance. We ended up in a 3 versus 1. Gonçalves would get the ball. It would ricochet to the goalkeeper. He'd try and clear it. After the game should have ended, we would somehow score a goal with the ball rebounding off Jallo's head into the net. Szczesny's made a bigger mistake than Murillo had, so hopefully now we can take this to penalties with just 1 minute to go. I mean, look at that goal. So we had goal of the season in the last match. That's definitely the exact opposite. That's going to be the worst goal we score no matter how many games we play this season. You could see Juventus were dominating the ball there. They had 217 passes to our 111, and we didn't really have too many good penalty kick takers. Parejo's a really good one though, and you can see exactly why when he's blasted that past our goalkeeper. We got a nice tutorial telling Vitinha how to hit his penalty. We got the timing spot on and the positioning too, so 1-1 after 2 penalties. Goal scorer Raspadori was up next. We went the wrong way, he went the exact same way as Parejo. Jallo did technically score that last minute goal, so it was up to him to score another, and he went the same way as the other 2 Juventus players as well. Vlahovic took a nice slow run up before smashing it down the middle. What a penalty that is, always right down the middle ones. Bruno Viana had a really tough composure bar, but he went right this time, and the goalkeeper guessed right. Arthur was up next. We knew it was going to be a chip. We saw the power bar, so we did manage to save that one. Maserati then tries to blast it down the middle. How many points has he won us this season? But he has managed to miss his penalties. And Piaka ran up, hit it to the left, just like a lot of the Juventus players like to do. And that would win the game for Juventus. So despite our fluky goal at the last minute, despite leading for 86 of the 90 normal time minutes, we've ended up being knocked out of the Europa League. In a way, this was a good thing. It let us focus on trying to win the Portuguese league. We were in basically a straight battle between us, Porto, Sporting and Benfica. The big 4 teams in Portugal, all fighting for that number 1 spot. You can see how close it was there. With 27 games played, we had 60, Benfica on 58, and someone else on 57. We were playing quite a few of the worst teams, including Aruca, who you can see were right at the bottom. But the first match we were going to be playing was this huge one against Porto. Likely, if one of these teams wins, they would go on to win the entire league. So there was the added pressure of being a title contender with also having a bit of a derby rivalry going on in this game too. We were going to have to be aggressive on the tackles. We knew that Porto would be like that. But with the home crowd behind us, we knew we had what it takes to try and beat Porto and get that title back to Braga. So let's have a look. Starting at 7 minutes, it's a Thales Magno ball across, and what a header from McAllister. Silas running into the space. Costa can't keep up with him, but the goalkeeper just gets there just seconds before Silas was about to unleash a powerful shot. So Silva gets the ball next. He plays through Silas again. This time he gets there before the goalkeeper, but the pullback can't quite find someone with the goalkeeper out of position, and somehow Silva nearly slams a tackle into the back of the net. Our goalkeeper went on his wonders right there as well, but thankfully he got back into the net just in time. Evanson found Pepe one-on-one, and there he was, finding the brilliant save. Half-time had come and gone, so now it was time for a tough second half against Porto. Everything's still on the line with the score 0-0. Ball would come down the middle. Franco would get it in the box, and he would smash it. There's nothing that Murray can do about that one. Franco with a nice shot. It's his 5th goal in 17 games, but with shooting like that, you would imagine it's probably not going to be the last one he scores this season. In fact, he'd get the ball on the edge of the box just 2 minutes later, and he would smash yet another one past us. So now we would have to push on. We gave all-out attack call, so everyone was rushing forwards, and that gave Van Nilsson a chance to chip our goalkeeper. Viana would easily get there, but his clearance would only hit Van Nilsson, and then there's nothing Oliveira can do to stop that one rolling into the net. That goal really did sum up how this game felt. We didn't have too much of the ball. It felt like every time we tried to attack, there'd be 3 or 4 very determined players from Braga sprinting faster than I've ever seen before. It was super tough. You can tell the derby and the title rivalry really did amp up the game. And unfortunately, we did lose that one 3-0. But we had a chance to try and recover things against Vitória. So with 7 games of the season left, let's see how fast we can get through them. This one's only 3 real highlights. The first one was Silva with a nice acrobatic volley kick, which could have given us the lead. Murillo had our second chance from the edge of the box, a powerful shot, couldn't quite beat their goalkeeper. And finally, Vitória, in one of the last minutes of the game, ran through, pulled it back, but they could only hit the post. I mean, that should definitely have been a goal, but that one would end 0-0. We can't afford draws like that if we want to try and stay in the league, especially with how things have been going. We're now level with Benfica on 61 points. Things aren't looking particularly great. So our next match against Gil Vicente was super important to try and get that first win in a while. Silas probably should have put us ahead after just 10 minutes, but then our next chance would come from Thales Magno. 21 minutes gone, the ball would come across. Silas with the header, only just wide. Now let's see if Silas can score another one-on-one. This time, he can't. Now let's see if Silva can score a one-on-one. He's got a big gap in front of him. Can he curl it in? No, he can't. So with time running out, he really had to make the most of this one-on-one. He slowed down. He powered it into the back of the net this time. 1-0 to Braga. Andre Silva scoring one of the few goals that he's scored this season, but with how many one-on-ones he's missed in this game, we really did need him to score that one, and the game would actually end 1-0. So first time we've won in a while. Good win it was as well. 1-0, we had all the chances, but we really had to win this one. It was against Sporting Lisbon, one of the best teams in the league. I'm sure you know that. You don't need me to tell you that. This was a bit of a derby match as well. The atmosphere was looking really good. So if I told you the match first versus third towards the end of the season was actually one of the most boring of the season, you might not believe me, but that was absolutely the case. Our only real chance was Horta doing that long shot after 20 minutes. Their only real chance came from this corner. So the ball came out to Esagio. He played it through to Marcus Edwards. His shot from just inside the box would be saved. They got a red card, but it was only for 2 yellow cards. It wasn't anything really that big of a deal. And that's how the game would end, 0-0. I was really expecting a lot more from that one, honestly, and because we've drawn that one, we've now dropped from first place for the first time in a long time down to third in the league. But this game against Arouca, we really had to win, playing against the worst team in the league. Silva would get the ball after 27 minutes. His one-on-ones haven't been great, but he knew how to finish this one. Blasted it into the top corner. What a goal that is. 1-0, a good start for Braga. There'd be a free kick from quite far out. Mujica would refuse to take it. In fact, it was a guy called Vigaray that would hit it. What a free kick that was. Straight into the top corner from a guy with 45 free kick accuracy. Still, we haven't given up just yet. We're on all-out attack. We're trying to get this goal. Silva would dribble around a little bit. He'd find Horta on the edge of the box. Thales Magno. Musrati near post. Just like he did that diving header, he scored yet another crucial goal in this episode to put us 2-1 up against Arouca. I mean, what a finish it was. You can always rely on this guy. To say he's a defensive midfielder, he also bombs forward and does score quite a lot of goals. I really do enjoy using him. But that is going to be a really important goal for our season, and that's exactly how the game ended. So with just 2 games left, we're 2 points off first place, so we really had to win this game. We needed a slip up from Benfica while we beat Boa Vista. It was going to be super crucial. We got that 3 points. After 65 minutes, Silva, he hasn't been good at one-on-one finishing, but you don't need to be when you can go around the goalkeeper and make it 1-on-no-one. And that would be really the only real chance. He would have another one at the 85th minute where he'd smash it into the bar, but yet another 1-0. So it all came down to that Benfica score. Benfica had managed to win, so we were now only 2 points off the title. We were playing against Santa Clara, a team that actually uses Benfica's crest, and it's a very similar team. So it was all down to us. We needed to win this one. We needed Benfica to draw because we had the better head-to-head record. We would win the league in that situation, but if Benfica managed to win and they were playing against someone really bad, I think it was Gil Vicente, that meant that we were only going to be able to finish second no matter what we do in this game against Santa Clara. So there was a lot of pressure on us in this one. We would get the ball playing out from the back like always. McAllister chested it to Silas. We were actually playing a 4-2-4 in this one because we wanted to win so bad. So we had Silas on the wing with Horta in the midfield. We were going all out attack trying to win this one as hard as possible. McAllister would win the ball yet again, playing it down the wing to Silas. Silas the Banza in the box. His shot can't find the net, unfortunately. Silva would be booked, I can't remember what for. It wasn't really relevant to the rest of the episode. So Banza, he would run down the wing now. Silas has replaced him in the middle. His cross can't quite find Thales Magno, but it does find Musrati. His long shot, if that was on target, I would say that's probably gone in. He got a lot of power behind that one. But at half-time, it was 0-0. Let's see if we can see the Benfica score, and we haven't actually been given it, so we don't know what's going on in that game. It could be 0-0, they could be losing, or they could be winning. Thales Magno would get the ball out wide and try and pump across towards Silas. Having him and Banza on the same side was really useful for us. What a finish that would have been from Silva, curling it in from the edge of the box, but he couldn't quite do anything about it this time. Thales Magno would play a nice 1-2 with Silva. He's in so much space. Can he get round the defender? He can. There's one more defender in between him and the goal, and the ball would hit him and go out for a corner, but nothing would happen from that corner. With us having everyone forwards, it meant we were very frail at the back. We were doing our best to play high pressure, it meant our players were really low on stamina, and it meant Santa Clara got a chance to finish us off right there. 1-0 down, we're probably not doing anything. We were silly though, we tried to clear the ball and we accidentally slid in, and that's given away a penalty. If Bicalo can score, which he can, we're going to need 2 goals in the last 15 minutes. What a stupid penalty that was to give away. All we needed was 1 goal and now we need 2. So we're pressing. You can see Vitinha playing it through. Can Silva get there? He can. He's already been booked. Will he be sent off? The referee said it's a foul, but no red card, thankfully. So we still have all 11 men. But now we have 5 minutes to try and get those 2 goals. Kali is in the box. He pulls it across. Babi is there. That's the end of our title challenge. We managed to take it to the last game. We in fact managed to injure someone out of pure anger as well. I was pretty proud about that one. But a red card for Gomez is how his season's going to end. And unfortunately, second place is as good as our season's going to end as well. I mean, I think officially we could even have finished a little bit lower, but our performances did get us quite a few job offers. Ajax, Monaco also interested. We got one from Valencia, and we also got one from England, where Leeds at Elland Road actually approached us to be their manager. So let me know in the comments below what team you think we should accept, or if we should stay at Braga. I'm thinking maybe we should move clubs because we only got second place in this season. We have some good players at this club, but I think there's not much more distance we can take, and a second season would probably be very, very similar to this first one. But first, before we decided our future, we had to play the cup final. Yet again, we're playing against Porto. That meant we've played Benfica, Sporting and Porto in this cup run to get to the final. Thales Magno could have put us ahead, and so could Banza early on. Porto would have this chance just before the hour mark that we would easily defend, but the next one would be a penalty. Mateus, with a nice save, kept us in the final, and it allowed Banza to have the opportunity to get through one-on-one. Oh, he absolutely should have scored that one. That would have been the end of the final. That last-minute goal in the final. What an eventful final that would have been. But instead, it's going to penalty kicks yet again. We've already lost one penalty shootout in this episode. Are we about to lose a second? We had some slightly better takers on the pitch this time, including Banza. He went up first, he found the top corner. That's unsavable no matter where the goalkeeper dives. Next up was Evanilson. He tried to chip us in the normal match earlier and he tried to chip us there. Both were saved. Vitinha, he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way there. Absolutely great penalty, unstoppable. Baliu was up next. Down the middle kind of, but then it curved a lot, so a pretty hard one to save. Thales Magno, is he going to chip it with that little amount of power? No, he places it in the top corner. So we've got 3, Porto with just the 1 so far. Plie would chip it. We would be basically stood next to it, but we didn't have the reactions to get there in time. Centre-back Viana would step up next. His penalty would be saved, and all of a sudden, it looked like it was repeating itself. Pepe stood up, the winger, and his was saved as well. So it all came down to this. Mora, can he finish? Look how fast that circle's moving. He puts a lot of power. He goes left. And we have won the Portuguese Cup. So this is the first silverware we've won, I think, in any career mode on this channel, except maybe the playoff final for Forest on that save. But still, we're super happy with this one. Even if we do leave the club, we're leaving the club with a trophy, with the Portuguese Cup. We've got them the Champions League. We've won them a cup. We are a success with a fairly big team. And maybe it is time to make that next step to one of Europe's bigger leagues and see how we can progress there. But it's all about the players right now, and you've just won the cup. Let me know who your favourite player from this Braga team is. I think mine's probably going to be Andre Horta. I really enjoy using him. Borja, the left-back, super fun. Thales Magno, again, really fun. And, of course, Silas is always going to be super cool when you start doing tricks with him and stuff. He's basically unstoppable. But now, let's have a look who's lifting the cup. It should be Oliveira, our captain. There he is. He's fairly old now. He's probably not going to have too many more days where he's lifting silverware. He's going to pick it up. Oliveira confirms that Braga have won the Portuguese Cup. Nice one, lads. Get in there. We've won silverware. And that's going to be the end of this season. And probably the end of our chapter with Braga. And what a way to end it. So thank you all for watching. Like the video if you haven't already. And make sure you subscribe to Geografifa FC. I'll put the link at the end of the video as well and in the description. Make sure you subscribe because that's where Season 3 is going to be. But thank you all for watching. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.